क्यों कर रहे हम?
क्या पता? We can ask the same question about life. कि क्यों कर रहे हैं हम जिंदगी? सिर्फ just give a loud clap. तो पहले थोड़ा context set करते हैं. Welcome to Chaar Vichaar.
Okay.
It's a new podcast we have started as Semicolon Films. And but I don't know if the world of podcast will accept us because वो यहाँ पे mic, headphone, studio setup नहीं है, ऐसी random nature में आके जो हम shoot कर रहे हैं. तो I'm not sure कि हमें accept किया जाएगा कि नहीं. Basic thought is what is the USP of this show?
Oh.
That's something you always have to write in whatever you pitch. कि
Okay.
आप में क्या unique है और क्यों, why would the world care? So I think world won't care, world shouldn't care, and it's fine. Because the thing is, what I believe, let's do an introduction first. So I'm Vidar Joshi, I'm a filmmaker. That's Dr. Anaya Joshi, that's also my sister. But who are you?
Who are you?
काफी random, हाँ, but हाँ, still.
Honestly, अगर सच आंसर दूंगी तो again the answer won't be accepted. But I genuinely do not identify now with anything, including this body. So I just am. But if you ask me what I do professionally and all, so yeah, I practice Ayurved. I'm a constant learner. And I don't know who I am, and I think that's the most honest answer I can give as of now. वो कहते हैं ना, वो मनोबुद्धि अहंकार चित्तानि नाहम न च श्रोत्र जीवे न च घ्राण नेत्रे न च व्योम भूमि न तेजो न वायु चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम. I haven't reached this chidananda stage,
But you'll also have to
I
explain
don't
this.
know. Okay, so what I am, maybe I don't know that, but what I'm not, I'm very clear about it, even in my experience. So I'm not the mind, not the intellect, not the I. Okay, so yeah, that's whatever remains then, if at all anything remains then, that's what I am, and I'm genuinely saying this, and it has taken me a lot to reach to this level. So yeah, just shedding off. So I don't know who I am that
So
way.
right before we started recording, you asked me why are we really doing this? So where does it come from? Is basically Anaya and I either don't talk for weeks because we are doing our own thing, and once we meet, it's always at like post midnight until 4 in the morning. We are having the most random, and it varies. Either we are just sitting, playing guitar, singing songs, or we are playing cards, or we are just laughing about random things, or we are doing absolute dirty gossip about the world, or the majority of the conversations are this.
Yes.
It's existentialism, why are we here, what are we, and randomly we think about anything. And that's where the idea was born, that why not just have this conversation. And I also identified a lot of people who are there in my life who do think about life in a deeper way, which is rare now.
Which is rare, yes.
Not just life, about everything. And I've also identified this, that I can't stand people who don't think about anything. है ना? मतलब वो थोड़ा बीच में गुजराती आ रहा है because I'm used to talking to her in Gujarati, but yeah, it's just flowing by. Let the life happen to you. I'm like, just shut the fuck up, bro. What the fuck is just?
No, the line that I hear the most and I hate the most is, इतना क्या सोचने का, पागल है क्या, इतना क्या सोचने का, just do it. अरे उसी चक्कर में इतना chaos create हो गया है. So I think निर्विचार होने से पहले सविचार होना बहुत जरूरी है.
क्या बात?
But I don't. One thing I was not expecting is those conversations that used to happen for 3 to 4 hours at the stretch. What potential did you see in it to, execute it this way or to put it out? I don't know that. I'm still nervous about it. This is my first experience. So,
but yeah, I mean, don't be stressed out. So the whole idea became Chaar Vichaar because thought itself becomes very important. So then we were just always wanted to get into podcasting because बात करना बहुत पसंद है. ठीक है. So then I was like, why not start with this? And the whole idea became, so I was traveling and I thought the last thought that came to my mind. So one thing is that this be original, do an original podcast, all of this. So first of all, my opinion is that originality is a myth. It's always culmination of thoughts and that unique combination or equation that gets created. Only that part might be unique, I'm not sure. But a thought itself cannot be unique. You cannot generate a thought, right?
Yes.
So the whole idea became that the last thought I had, if I try to trace it back, if the world is advanced enough and we have the computing power, so that can be traced back. The origin of that thought can be traced back to Big Bang, or maybe even before that. But we don't have. It's not possible, at least till now. So I was like, then whatever it is, it's very temporary. Be it a thought or anything that exists. So then I was like, हाँ, but what do you think this कि कुछ original करते हैं? कहाँ से करोगे भाई? तुम कुछ create थोड़ी कर सकते हो. You can't.
I totally agree to this, and see, thoughts are not original, but they are energized.
Okay.
They are not created, but they are entertained. Okay, so this is what is happening. हमें जो भी लगता है ना कि मैंने ये किया है और I have pioneered this or I am the you know, आपको कभी ना कभी उसका किसी ना किसी फॉर्म में रेप्लिकेशन रिफ्लेक्शन किसी ना किसी ने वो सोचा हुआ है, बोला हुआ है, किया हुआ है. So that is there. And about the myth, मैं remember the audio I had sent you very passionately about why the world is called as Mithya or myth. So I have been trying to understand this कि ऐसा कैसे है, like just थोड़ा out of the ये बात कर रहे हैं, context बात कर रहे हैं कि I can see things, I can hear things, I can touch you, and I'm saying Vidar is not real, this is not real. ये क्या hallucination type बात है. So and even if anybody would ask me, मैं किसी को reply नहीं कर पाती थी in a very rational or logical way until few days back जब I sent you that audio passionately कि I found this.
That's a trope. That's a Anaya trope. Either random in the middle of the day she'll call me, listen, तू free है क्या 2 minute? कुछ urgent नहीं है but free है क्या? Like हाँ free हूँ. अरे bro मैंने ये अभी discover किया. Then we go on. Or else अभी थोड़ा busy हूँ. रुक voice note. Then 7-minute long voice note she sends. And उसमें ऐसा बहुत random चीज, बहुत random.
But this feels like home कि कोई तो है. I have like very few people in life जहाँ ये बातें कर सकते हैं जो सुनेगा and that person पहुँचेगा, हम बोलते हैं ना, उस तक पहुँचेगा. So you're like on the top of the list. Feels like home, तो इसलिए. Okay. So where were we? Why this
but
is
you're
called
saying
as
that you can touch, feel, listen, but you're saying this is not real.
This is not real. How? So this context is never explained. Maybe it was explained in Sanskrit, but none of us cares enough to go to the text and read it and understand the meaning. This answer that I found few days back was it satisfied me, okay, and made things clear for me. And that is, we all know about the theory of causation.
But still.
An effect, So what does it say? Whenever you see an effect, there must be a cause behind it. In Sanskrit, it is called as Satkaryavad. Okay, Satkaryavad. If an effect is called as karya, there has to be a karan for that and a cause behind that. Now, like leaving, दूसरी बातें नहीं, but the point is, if we remove the effect, okay, sorry, if we remove the cause, the effect is removed. Okay, for example, this table, okay, this is a karya, an effect we see, and the wood is the cause. If the wood is removed, there is nothing called as table that remains. But I never heard that this equation is not reversible. It is asymmetric or asymmetric. Okay. That means if you remove, if an effect is removed, the cause is removed, effect is removed. But the cause is not dependent on the effect, which means, and if an effect is removed, the cause still remains.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So, what does it mean? Whenever in Vedant, etc., something is called as mithya or not real, it does not mean that it does not exist. It means that it is dependent, it is not shashwat, it is always time and space bound. Okay. So, when, for example, we are taking this, if a table is, I break this table, the wood will still remain, but it will not be labeled as cause. Right? So, Am I making sense?
Yeah, but even if you don't,
Okay,
it's fine.
That's a point.
That's the point.
That's a point. So yeah, so the wood still remains. Now that wood can be turned into something else, right? This is so. Basically, a table is nothing but just an appearance in the flow of wood, bound by time and space.
Yeah.
We are just giving a name to it. It has a certain function, but what is it originally? The wood only. So whatever we are seeing around, including thoughts, including emotions, anything that is an effect of something, it is just a time-bound appearance in
Correct.
it. So it will vanish.
Yeah.
So whenever something called as mithya or unreal, it simply means that it is dependent on something, the original something ingredient of it, and it will not last forever.
Yeah.
That's how we call it mithya or unreal.
Correct.
So thoughts and emotions, anything that, utpatti, sthiti and lay ho jata hai na, it is not to be relied upon, and that's why it is
Correct.
mithya, unreal.
So
originality
right now
is
we
what-
agreed on all of this. So ऐसा लगेगा कि भाई बहन है तो शायद, but we are drastically different people. Drastically, we
poles
started
apart.
on this conversation, but let's dial it back a little bit. We were not great siblings. Okay.
Yes.
During COVID, we rediscovered our relationship because
Yes.
we both were at an age where we were mature enough to actually see each other in a different light. Also, we didn't have the baggage as individuals. However, we grew to that point
Yes.
that you are my sister and you're supposed to do XYZ thing, and I'm your brother. I'm supposed to do XYZ thing. We were able to, and I think that's where I'm taking the conversation, is that look at you as a human being.
Exactly.
And at the same
that's
time,
very
you
rare.
were also, this is where
This
exactly
is
comes
very
from.
rare,
Because they keep
very
teasing
rare.
me कि Vidar तू बहुत बोलता है. Exactly that. I've stopped. Yoshida started. But anyway, exactly. But so
Acha.
we are brother and sister. Reason behind that is not just our parents. A lot of things might
Yes.
have played a role, but let's not get into that. But there is this one thought which we both share, and I was thinking about it in the morning as well, that माँ बाप भगवान का रूप होता है. ये norm है, ठीक है? And this is not specifically about our parents or anything. This is just the idea of it. Now, what does that do is, first, the parents are basically staying the way they are, but still the application of ki we are gods is there.
Yes.
If the parents were like, if you believe in any god, एक basic norm is good qualities is something that Bhagwan, the word, combines on a very superficial level, I'm saying. Parents are not going to change and become the best version of themselves to attain that statement कि भगवान का रूप होता है माँ बाप, right? This is one way. Second is, it puts a lot of pressure if they take it seriously. That अगर मैं भगवान का रूप हूँ तो it's a lot of pressure, but वहाँ तक तो जाती ही नहीं है बात. The other thing is that as kids, that sense of ownership from parents is always there. कि अरे, you are supposed to do this, but my love is unconditional. You are supposed to do that, but my love is unconditional. And how can you say this to me? I'm saying this is again like, so first perspective is that it puts a lot of pressure on them if they manage to change it. Oh, hi. Come here. बैठ जाओ. It puts a lot of pressure on them, right? And the other thing is, what if they are not godlike, right? But even to say this in front of, I know many people, if I say this कि यार भगवान का रूप शायद नहीं होते है ना, they'll be like, how can you say that? तुझे संस्कार नहीं दिए. And I'm like, calm down, वो लोग भी तो इंसान है ना, right? So then if you're giving them that status, then also take their ability to do human like things away, no? Then they can't do the same things. But what I'm saying is that the whole dynamic also takes away from looking at each other just as human beings.
Exactly.
Correct.
Sorry.
And that creates a lot of dysfunctionalities. Like a lot of reasons are there, but like more or less every conversation I've had with everyone, it's that only that my family is dysfunctional.
So my take on this is, First of all, we people are able to think this way, or we have the, I would say, privilege to even think
Correct.
away from the mainstream, is because thankfully, I'm not saying our parents are perfect or something, but thankfully this quality is not there in them.
Yeah.
To a major extent.
Yeah.
That's first.
100%.
Secondly, I think we people in general have no idea about credit किस चीज के लिए देना है, blame किस चीज के लिए करना है. For example, I always ask this to all my patients and a lot of people, a lot of women, 40 plus especially, कि if you're given two options, कि one option is कि आपको 9 months baby को carry करना है, painful labor है. 3 months baby को carry करना है, painless labor है. दोनों में baby को बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. Okay? How many, like what, कितने प्रतिशत महिलाएं would choose the painful 9 months वाला thing?
Nobody. Like
right?
less, I'm assuming less.
Yes, assuming less, right? Which means since there is no other option, okay, to carry a baby and go through this extremely painful process because you want to have it, okay, first of all, it is not unconditional. It's the choice that you're making.
Correct.
Right? Second, any mother or any female to emotionally, I'm sorry, I had prepared myself not to say all these things, but I can't help it now.
It's fine. Also, one thing,
anyone,
if you listen to some of these things out of context, it might feel radical and controversial. थोड़ा मतलब just understand, don't just scroll up.
तो पूरा सुनो.
हाँ, और या फिर मत सुनो. और अगर लगा controversial, offensive लगा, तो tell us that it's offensive, but other than that, it's okay, bro.
हाँ, but
do better things.
I'll have to come for the second, please.
Yeah, sure.
Is the shooting going on?
Yeah.
Can I come?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. So whenever we claim that I have created, मैंने पैदा किया है, मैंने बड़ा किया है, I have raised you, which means if you want that credit, or you must be able to be in control of everything, okay? How many women can control what's happening in their body? They have no idea about how the uterus functions, what this play is going on. एक छोटी सी mistake can cause a lot.
Correct.
वो उससे बेबी को सेव भी नहीं कर सकते, डैमेज करने से रोक भी नहीं सकते. Is it like a lot to bear? Yes, a lot to bear. बहुत sacrifices करते हैं, हाँ करते हैं, it is true. But you're just a passive participant. There's just a passive participation. So you can't claim in any way that you are creating. मैंने पाला है. But whenever a parent does anything that is not their duty or something, that is actually just out of love and expecting nothing in return, they are not given credit for that also. But take credit for that, not for what you have not done.
Sure.
So it is just happening through you.
Also, the society has trained us to कि ऐसे ही तो होता है. You get married and that whole structure which everybody has spoken
There's
about.
one more thing.
So the conscious choice itself of I am bringing a new life to this world is not there. So then they are like, अरे मैंने तुझे पैदा किया. अरे तो मुझे थोड़ी पूछा था भाई.
That's first, yes.
Correct.
And
I didn't have a call in that.
Is it fair that a couple who puts a lot of effort, educates themselves and to give birth, बहुत सारा मेहनत और training and अपने आप पे काम करना एक couple ये करता है. Another couple, even from the same economical class, same background and everything, if they are not doing anything, they are just conceiving accidentally and taking out the baby and कुछ नहीं. So is it fair to this couple?
Correct.
That both of them will be called as gods? Both of them become, equally respectable for their kids. One more thing. See, if we leave everything on minds, कि सब कुछ हम अपनी sensibility से करेंगे, तो वो होने वाला है नहीं. So for the society to function in a certain way, कुछ rules and regulations.
Correct. Because if we go into subjective reality of everyone, कुछ नहीं बचेगा. Correct. फिर चोर भी justified है और murderer भी justified है. If you have fair enough. But speaking of families and kids, when are you getting married? You hear this every day.
I like this that you asked me straight. वो ऐसा घुमा के क्वेश्चन नहीं आता. So
કે હવે છે ને થોડા ઇધર સબટાઇટલિંગ કરી લેંગે क्या એ હવે અનયા જો તને હમણાં લાગે છે કે તારી એટલે હું રહી લઈશ બટ છે ને
અરે,
એક
કરવા
સમય કરવા પડે આવું બધું યંગસ્ટર લોકોને લાગે કે નથી કરવા મારે લગન બટ આપકો करना पड़ेगा અરે क्यों भाई
what people, a lot of people tell me
what's the worst
मुझे
way you
नए
have
कपड़े पहनने हैं, so I should get married.
Oh, yeah.
Like, मेरे
हाँ.
खराब, I mean,
not as a joke
हाँ, not as a joke,
Not as a joke.
कम करना है.
घर पे पहन लो भाई बट do you hear this a lot I know you don't hear it from
From our parents.
Yeah.
That's very unique. But no, they do not pressurize me, or now they don't even ask me because they are honest people. I mean,
they're pretty chill
yeah. So you,
but
you
now
know the
they have become
content.
pretty chill
Yes, now they have become pretty chill.
there was a radical
I-
change till 10th standard they were very different after 10th like now like the amount like so I dropped out of engineering to pursue filmmaking and the amount of support all three of you have given me it's just
So
unmatchable
I think this is the time. Oh.
अभी ये घर के चोर्स पे आने वाली है बात
नहीं.
कि तू अगर इतना ही सपोर्ट ले रहा है तो कभी कभी बर्तन भी रख दिया कर जगह पर बट लेट्स गो इनटू द मैरिज कॉन्वर्सेशन बिफोर वी गेट इनटू दिस हाँ
Nicely diverted.
Yes.
But no. But I want to ask, like, I want you to admit, honestly and frankly, do you give me credits for changing the situation in our home that is there now?
yeah 100% I like how the whole setup was created the podcast and everything went out of the window like कि थोड़ी चीजें इसे कैमरा पे कमिट करवा लेती हूँ मैं नहीं डेफिनेटली बट लेट्स कम बैक टू द मैरिज थिंग ऑल्सो वी आर रनिंग आउट ऑफ टाइम
Okay.
and I want to address something else as well so हाँ
So to put it in short, anyone who's married, okay, I ask them, why did you get married? Whatever answers, two or three of them were very honest that there was no point. I don't know why I did this, but most of them, whatever answers they give me, I can't rely on them to make a decision that I have to, that has to last forever, like till I die, okay? Because that's a concept for me.
You're saying you can't rely on those people
Or
to make a choice?
Any reason that they give, or
okay.
in general, anything. Otherwise, मुझे ये नहीं सुनना है बाद में कि क्या फर्क है, फिर डॉक्टर बन के क्या मतलब हुआ, you did the same thing. Okay, so I'm not a person who jumps into things without being aware of it completely. So no reason. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं जल्दी शादी कर लेनी चाहिए कि अकेलापन is something that everyone
But ask married people, they are
exactly
more lonely.
they are more lonely. Yeah, ऐसे भी होता है that unfortunately if the spouse dies, okay, you have to. So that's first. Loneliness doesn't justify. दूसरा any reason यार for that matter companionship चाहिए वगैरह but all these factors are variable. They do not last forever.
Correct.
Why? Because the minds are not reliable. If I can't rely on my own mind, okay, I can't rely on anybody's mind. Unless and until someone I find who has transcended these things and who have completely understood this and this, if they tell me to get married, yes, I have to. Then I'll do it. But
you'll have to find a guy first. Which doesn't
okay,
seem like a possibility.
we were talking about
Shut up. So there are a lot of things which we can keep on talking about, and this podcast can become like 4 hours long. But we'll do multiple episodes. That's the whole plan of it. But one thing you mentioned is that one part of your life is also that you're a doctor. So now whenever someone asks me, "Oh, your sister is a doctor," then they ask me, "What kind of a doctor?" And when I say Ayurvedic, there are two kinds of reactions. One is that, the other is, "Oh, okay, she practices Ayurved," and then I also tell them that she's a purist, right? Because I try to think I want to become a purist in that for my practice. Doesn't seem like a possibility. The producer is sitting there और होती कि हाँ ये लिख तो लिया है, इसको पैसा कौन देगा मेरे भाई, कौन देगा? But regardless, the other reaction is कि wow, and the other reaction, oh अच्छा, Ayurvedic. It's the whole template of, oh, dentists are not real doctors. Ayurvedic doctors are not real doctors.
Yes.
I have seen, I don't know if I should say this or not,
no,
but I've seen a lot of Ayurvedic doctors.
Yeah.
And I get it. ठीक है. But because the way you approached the whole thing, shut up. The way you approached the entire thing, because even right now, it's been how many years since you passed out of college?
2014. So count.
Many years basically. Maths अच्छा नहीं है. But 2014, but you still study.
Yes, I.
Because not because you're a geek, but you want to understand things more and more and more, and that reflects in the kind of treatment you give, and the kind of results you have gotten. And also, I'm pretty sure a lot of time it must fascinate the patient himself or herself. Ki, why are you asking me all of this? Because she takes a very detailed history. What do you do? How do you? Ye blah blah
Many
blah.
times he suddenly enters my room and
She's talking about, did you shit properly today?
What was
Did
the
you take-
color?
What was the color of your shit? Yesterday. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, please.
There was, when she was studying, I have to tell this. So there was one computer at our place which was in my room. Alright, so I'm sleeping. I woke up to the images of piles on my computer because she was studying. तो उसके सब मोटी-मोटी किताबें और piles, and I was like, पूरा दिन मतलब, anyway, but full sympathies जिनको है piles, ऐसा मतलब insensitive नहीं हूँ मैं, but regardless I'm saying कि your approach towards Ayurveda is very different, and because of you, my understanding, whatever like small understanding of I have of the whole thing it's become much better. But what are the things which you have to face as an Ayurvedic doctor? Because see, if you were MBBS, then you were just a doctor, but you are an Ayurvedic doctor. So that's why. Tell me, what do you think?
So I'm already addressing a lot of issues that Ayurvedic students and doctors face under a title called as ABC with Anaya. Promotion थोड़ा
Plug in.
casual है.
Casual. आपका promotion करने का तरीका थोड़ा casual है. हाँ.
So ABC stands for Ayurved Beyond Classroom. So I'm already addressing a lot of issues that are not talked about.
Former podcaster है मेरी बहन. हाँ.
Very bad this, but yeah, okay. So but here the point that I want to make is the biggest challenge that we people, like entire medical fraternity I'm talking about, the biggest challenge that we are facing is to remain healthy ourselves. You know what happened? We are always see what if a disease happens, malaria हुआ, मच्छर ने किया, थायराइड हो गया, आजकल सबको हो रहा है, मेरे जीन्स पे I'll put a blame कि सबको है, हेयर लॉस हो रहा है, I have a hereditary, ऐसे सब. आयुर्वेद में आने के बाद में you come to know that 60 to 70% of the ailments are entirely because of you, the way you live, the way you eat, and your past karma. So once now the tables have turned, okay.
Karma is also the lifestyle you have, but they'll put it in the Pinterest, Instagram context, na. Karma will bite you. You said past karma, na.
Past karma.
Past life की बात नहीं हो रही है,
हाँ.
but the way you have lived till this point. In
Yes.
this context, we'll
The
talk about other
environment
things
and
as well.
everything.
हाँ.
Yeah. So now the ball is in your court. अब आपको पता है कि you have done this. You can change it. You can prevent it. Okay. Now everything changes because you can't blame anymore. Now, to what extent the entire system right now, in terms of education, in terms of internship, and your OPD practice, and the entire hospital life, is in itself so unhealthy that it is almost next to impossible to remain healthy ourselves.
Yeah.
So the biggest challenge that I think I face is if I call myself a doctor, a flag bearer of health, okay? Biggest hypocrisy, or I would say dishonesty, if I advise someone, don't do this, and I have to do it, or I do it every day myself. In internship, you have no fixed timing. I know you people, when I see you guys working, I like hats
terrible.
off, baap
Terrible.
re, hats
But
off.
this is again coming from your awareness about this, because it's very easy कि हाँ मैं कुछ भी करूँ, it's good for you. I'm
How
saying
yaar?
I'm saying in general perspective कि what a general perspective of a doctor is that I go to you with my issues, you tell me what to do, I do that or don't do that, whatever, but I do that and my things get fixed, right? But your approach towards this also is influenced by the way your life is. in terms of philosophy, what you are built on. So of course that also adds a layer of resistance and conflict within yourself.
And I suffer a lot because of that.
Correct. But regardless, in general perspective, what is that one misconception? Because also on the other hand, Ayurveda is becoming the elite thing to
Now,
do,
yes.
cooler thing to do. Also the influence comes from the West कि अरे उन्होंने कर लिया है तो शायद ये सही होगा.
100%,
Again,
yes.
I don't want to sound very nationalistic or jingoistic about this, but it's true.
It's true.
Once it happens over there, it's also our racist behavior कि oh, if they do it, it's cooler.
Yes.
They also, and now the whole repackaging of what Ayurveda is. I think packaging and marketing is also a thing, na. If you
Yes.
package it in a cooler way, it becomes something else. Because one of the biggest thing which I've noticed is the brand Mochi.
Okay.
It's a shoe brand. Now, in out of context, if you hear Mochi, you have a certain image. कि अरे, I have a very specific image. कि जो अपने uncle थे, you remember that uncle, right? Right outside the garden. He used to fix everything. That's the image I get in my head, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything against him or anything. But they rebranded it. Now they sell shoes for like anything, 4,000, 5,000, anything. So it's a branding thing also. But I'm saying just we'll address one misconception about Ayurveda which people have, which bugs the fuck out of you.
The biggest misconception that
Or
people
something
have-
that bugs you about being an
it's
Ayurvedic
a-
doctor or
yes,
people looking at you. Certain
what bugs me is whenever people are tagging anything as Ayurvedic, any herbal product, कुछ भी मिला के in gym or anything, what I hate about people, not about people who are doing this, is why don't you verify? The only what is Ayurveda is only written in Sanskrit, in the text which no one cares to go and even turn the pages. Please do not believe when कुछ भी हुआ, कोई चूरन खा लिया, अरे लौंग खा लो आयुर्वेदिक है, ये हो गया आयुर्वेदिक है. Don't you have that, why this question doesn't arise कि ये तो बोल रहा है, let me just recheck, okay?
But
No,
our
this has
tendency
created
as
a
human
lot.
beings is to take the path of least conflict, no?
But what about when you have to use it for yourself? Will you not verify? It's going inside
I
the
understand,
system.
I understand. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying, but it's the most difficult
Wow,
thing.
okay.
Because it's the most difficult thing. You have to convince people to think about themselves or see right things or read right things.
4 बात के एक बार, 4 दिन की जिंदगी है, इतना मत सोच.
जीने के हैं 4 दिन, बाकी है बेकार दिन.
Yes. कोई कल मर जाना यार, चिल मारो यार. इतना क्या है?
तो तुम आज ही मर जाओ. Sorry, shouldn't say that, no? Okay, but
ये कट होगा ना?
नहीं क्यों कट होगा भाई, मस्ती कर रहा हूँ. But हाँ यार, first shoot, first episode, ideal place to start was with you. मजा आ गया था ना? Did you have fun? We'll have more conversation. I want to talk about Ayurveda in detail. I want to talk about social media with about that with you. A lot of other things. But for this episode, we'll have to wrap up. So what should we say? Can you say like, share, subscribe? Because I'm too cool to say it.
Oh.
मस्ती कर रहा हूँ. But yes,
Self-esteem level.
if you like this kind of conversations, we have many more coming up with Anaya and other people as well. So it's called Chaar Vichaar. तो हम
So whenever you listen to something, there is always an opposite thought arising in the mind. अच्छा हाँ ये कैसे? So whenever you want to, if at all you choose to listen to us, try to have a neutral mind and just once listen to us completely.
Yeah.
Then have an opinion. Obviously we all.
And this thought will arise for sure कि अरे तू कौन है मुझे बताने वाला? मैं कोई नहीं हूँ सर. मैं कोई नहीं हूँ. जैसे आपके दिमाग में ख्याल आते हैं, हमारे दिमाग में आते हैं.
We are just articulating it.
हमें लगा कि कुछ इससे कुछ वैल्यू अगर ऐड हो सकती है तो करते हैं. That's it. So if you like it, great. If you don't like it, that's also fine. But tell us why you don't like it, and we might figure something out around that. That horror on your face. It's okay. That's it. We'll try to drop an episode every week. For how long we are not sure because everybody
depends on a lot of things.
But thank you so much for tuning in, and like, share, subscribe. हमें Instagram पे follow कीजिए @Semicolon Films Podcast और हमें और किस पे @Semicolon Films पे podcast.
सिर्फ उन्हें ही follow कीजिए क्योंकि मेरे aesthetics बहुत खराब है.
हाँ उनको भी follow कीजिए. Dr. Anaya Joshi. वो
Anaya
link in
untagged.
description. अब तो ये सब बोलना होता है, मुझे सिखाया है धर्म हर्ष योशिता ने. और बस यार सही है. यही थे 4 विचार आज के. मिलते हैं जल्द.
Thank you.
See you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
કેવું લાગ્યું? સરસ.